Hello and welcome to episode 14 of This Song Fucking Sucks. Let me give you the business. You can see my man JP VonHitchburg with Schwarzenator, that's SCHWARTZENATOR, at the Viper Room on Friday, August 26th in Los Angeles. You can also catch them at Schwarzenator.com, and you can also catch his other band, Dinosaur Dick, at DinosaurDick.com. You can catch me at JeffKalmbach.com. That's JeffKalmbach.com. On Facebook, Facebook.com/JeffKalmbachsMusic. At Jeff Kalmbach on Twitter. At Jambac, JAMBAC on Instagram. You can check out my record, This Is Not Here, on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and all those balonies. You can also check out the Northern California Spasmatics at the District in Gilroy on Friday, July 8th. Britannia Arms in Almaden in San Jose on Friday, July 15th, Willard Park in Berkeley on the afternoon of Saturday, July 16th, and Powerhouse in Folsom on the evening on Saturday, July 16th. You can check our show here out on Facebook, facebook.com/TSFnS, at TSFnSucks on Twitter. We're now on SoundCloud as well as Google Play. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes with the fucking spelled F********ing, because you can't say fucking on iTunes. This Song Fucking Sucks official, as well as This Song Fucking Jams, a pleasant alternative playlists are available on YouTube and Spotify, so you can hear all the songs that we're complaining about and all the songs we're raving about. Don't forget to tell a friend, because this is how this works. You tell a friend, we get to have better ratings and stay on and continue to do this and complain for you. And if you have anything related to the show that you want us to see, don't forget to hashtag it TSFnS. This here's a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue, two young lovers with nothing better to do than sit around the house, get high, and watch the tube. And here is what happened when they decided to cut loose. Today we listened to Take the Money and Run by Steve Miller Band. This song's bullshit, man. I can't fucking believe I listened to this shit. I can't believe that this got made. What the fuck is wrong with people? Hey, JP, what's going on today?
Hi, Jeff. How are ya, buddy? How, dude?
I am spectaculous. All right.
Nice. New word.
It is a wonderful day here in Northern California. How is it down there?
That's fantastic. We've been having wonderful weather.
It is delightful. Let's discuss the weather. That is good podcasting.
The sun is out. The people are here. It's fucking 4th of July weekend, so
That's right.
It's fucking crazy down here, actually.
Yes, the tits are out.
They are everywhere. It's like my head's on a swivel.
All right, so today we are looking at one, Take the Money and Run by Steve Miller Band. I cannot tell you how excited I am to do this. Going over the song, I was like, yes, this is the song I've been waiting to do.
Really? This is the one, huh?
Definitely one of them. There's parts of this that I'm like, oh yes, I've been holding on to some serious rage around things going on in this song.
Well, I'm positive that we're not going to get one. There's going to be one element that doesn't show into this particular song, unlike every other song we've reviewed.
Oh, you talking about the statutory rape factor?
There's no statutory rape in this song.
I know. It's disappointing. That's one of the problems with it. Why they couldn't? It's the 70s, man. They couldn't work that in. That was their thing.
I feel like you would like it more if there was more statching.
All right. Note 1, Steve Miller. More statutory rape.
Yeah, he could have tried a little harder on this one.
Yeah, come on. Well, he doesn't say how old the the young lady in the. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, getting ahead of myself. Yes, when this tune starts, the first 10 seconds, I love that because that is the only cool part of the song. So once that moment ends with the drums, it's like, all right, I can go now. 10 seconds.
Dude, I have the exact same thing written down in my notes. I said, I love the way this starts off. The drums are recorded so awesomely, and that beat is super cool.
I know. It's cool. It's got the hi-hat opening.
Yeah.
And it's such a perfect, example of that 70s drum sound where the drums kind of had a thud to them. They had a little kind of bassiness to them. They're like, kind of loose head.
Yeah.
And it's got the ghost notes on the snare. And then, like, the moment the, like, guitar's coming in, it's like, okay, it's over. Fuck you.
Well, this reminds me of when I was in my high school band. So it was like if you had an intro,
which is a good sign for a song if it reminds you of when you're in high school. It's like,
exactly. So you get that intro, and then as soon as the band comes in, they never stop playing until the end of the song. There's no arrangement here whatsoever.
No.
There's no fucking arrangement. It just like, and everybody start playing, play. Don't leave any space for anything. Don't stop jangling that fucking guitar.
It's the stratiest strat in the world of strats.
And it just jangles the whole time.
It jangles. Yeah. On the same chords, just power chords, same 3 power chords. Which, by the way, it's funny that I bring this up. You usually bring up the lack of chords.
You beat me to it.
and whenever you do, I think to myself, you know what? I've come to this realization that I'm not super precious about there being a lot of chords or being, different chords. To me, chords are kind of secondary because they allow there to be, a simple chord progression to allow a good melody. And if all the other elements are in place, they're really, songs that have one chord progression all the way through from verse to chorus, that can actually work for me. And I can't think of any specific examples, but I've noticed that is a thing that I think is a possibility. And I think sometimes we as musicians get a little caught up in, all the chords are the same. And that really isn't necessarily a major thing because they're only meant to serve the melody to me.
Sure.
That being said, I love a great chord progression. If you have a really interesting chord progression, I'm stoked. I love Steely Dan. They've got interesting chords, that's for sure.
Right.
I love all that kind of stuff. The fancy harmonies and stuff. But in general, so every time we discuss that from now on, I got to kind of say like, that can work. But
sure, I mean, Tom Petty has successfully done it, but there's the reason why
absolutely
why it works and why it doesn't work is because when you have an arrangement and you have the vocals need to go somewhere, or something needs to happen, you can have this sort of same chord progression, but if nothing happens, then it just becomes sort of like a stagnant drone, and then that's when I start to get annoyed. I don't care if it's the same chords either. I've heard really great songs that have like 2 chords, and it works. What is it?
Definitely.
There's the Fleetwood Mac song, like what is that Rihanna song? Right, that's like just a couple chords, but the song is Rihanna. No, what's it called? Rhiannon.
Same difference.
Same shit. But that song is really cool because of how they arrange it and the way that they make it work. But it's just like 2 chords or something like that, and it's really cool. Yeah. This song, though,
it's got that great guitar line with the.
Yeah, man. But this song, "Take the Money and Run," you have those same 3 chords, and then they have a little bit of a change up before they like a dan 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 do whatever the hell it is, like set apart.
Yeah, which is also the other kind of cool thing. Oh, you got this cool syncopated.
Yeah, finally. But the vocals, they stay like he's only singing like he goes like maybe up a fifth. Like he never goes his vocal melody. And then he gets to the chorus. Na 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 na, and it's like, oh my god,
it
didn't go anywhere.
Same 3-4 note range.
And it's by the time you get to the end of the chorus, like, please let this song be over, and then they go right back to the beginning and repeat the whole thing. It's like, wait, you guys aren't going to take this anywhere. They didn't take it anywhere.
No. And, some of their songs have some pretty good guitar.
Yes.
And there's potential there, and they like guitar, and there's things that happen. I'm not like, in general, I think Steve Miller Band is pretty fucking hacky.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, in general, it's fucking garbage. But, some things get past a goalie in terms of good guitar stuff, and there's just nothing here. It's like, there's the jangly strat tone, and that's it,
Did they write Abracadabra?
Yeah.
Did they write this? Okay, I like that song. That song's pretty neat.
I like it. It's the most ridiculous load of shit ever, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
As opposed to this, where I get mad because it's stupid, Abracadabra, I enjoy it because it's stupid.
There's also the spooky element to the Abracadabra song that I like. This song really just, I pair it up with what was the song you guys did? Ken Reed, you guys did.
Centerfold.
Centerfold is kind of
similar.
I think it's actually a better song than this one, but
yeah, it is.
There's like this sort of generic rock and roll sound that I'm like, it just. Blah. I mean, you can throw a bunch of bands in there, and I'm like, I couldn't tell you who's who because the songs are all so similar sounding. And this is one of those songs.
Yeah, it's like classic rock radio filler. Like, here's another one.
Yes.
Here's another one.
Yep, shit it out and record it and go.
And
but get a really good drummer on it. Get a really good fucking drummer with a good drum sound.
And Abracadabra has that cool riff,
Mm-hmm.
Do do do.
Yeah.
Do do do.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Do 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 do. And
awesome.
And
I love
just
that
the
one.
ridiculous lyrics, ridiculous that in a way that doesn't make me angry but makes me laugh. Abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. Abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. It's like
they rhyme grab you with grab you. Ooh, it's one of our pet peeves.
Cadabra and grab you. That's just like so stupid it makes me laugh, and I think maybe they were in on the joke in that one.
I think so too.
This one not so much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When was this song written? Actually, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Mid-70s.
Is it the 70s?
Yeah, because it's on their greatest hits, which is 74 to 78.
Oh, so do you have Wiki up right now? Or you're just like fucking.
No, it says it on the cover of the album, which has the stallion on it, which is like directly off of the side of someone's, a Econoline or whatever. One of those 70s vans that are airbrushed.
Yes.
Stallion on it, like, and the window, the little. It
looks like
eye window in the back.
Yeah, it looks like a rape van. It's totally a rape van.
Yeah.
That you see on the
If this van's rocking, don't come a knocking.
So there's the statch. So we got the statch in here somehow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They did it with the cover art.
We took a walk for that one. That one, like
we had to abracadabra grab you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to it here.
Okay. So check this out. First line. Here's a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. Right there. The most made-up-y of made-up names. Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. Does anybody know anybody with those names?
Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
All right. Anybody beside him?
I mean, I guess it's, people down south somewhere,
Maybe
Alabama's.
Here's the question I'm really trying to ask. Do you think Steve Miller knows anybody named Billy Joe and Bobby Sue?
Yeah, probably not. No.
Yeah, no.
I take issue with this kind of stuff anyway. Like, I Living on a Prayer, great song, but just the whole fucking
cheesy song.
It's cheesy as fuck, but like, man,
it's
singing. It's a
crowd pleaser.
Oh man, it's a good one, and. You feel that chord, and then they go up like that third at the end, or like just like they don't go up, but they're like sick. But the names, like they're just like this guy and this girl, and then you get and then what is the other one? My first real six string.
Summer '69.
The two names in that. There's like two names in that one too, right? And you're just like, oh my god, or I'm just like, oh fucking stop it with people like you're just putting these characters in to create create a story. It drives me nuts.
Well, you know, I take issue with it when it's so clearly made up, and you can tell, you know, when it's
like this.
It's a made-up-y name, you know. So what's the other one? We discussed that on another episode. I don't think you're on it. It was Bad Company.
Oh, wasn't I on that one?
No, you weren't. It was with Brian Crow.
That's he takes the drug. Wakes up Johnny. There's a song about Johnny. Johnny was a schoolboy.
Don't you know
Johnny?
that you are a shooting star? Shooting star. Another one that's like a fake name.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know no fucking Johnny. This is not about someone you know. It's just like, oh, this is a made up Johnny, and it's like, I know it's it just sounds made up. You know, it's one of those things. It's a made up name.
I always think of when I hear Les Claypool, for instance. So I love. I don't know if we've talked about Primus on any of these yet or not, but I used to love Les Claypool, especially the early days, like the early first two records, or first three records are awesome. But then all of a sudden, Les is taking it to the next extreme, where he just, and this is a song that reminds me of, immediately made me think of Les Claypool, where you're just writing some stupid story to fill in space that doesn't matter, nothing matters. And Les is like, oh, look there's Johnny Mackerel, who has a mackerel for a dactyl, and you're like, what? And it's so, the lyrics are so stupid.
Is that a real lyric, or is that just like...
It's something as bad as that. I don't even...
I know, he loves writing about fish and
you're just like,
wildlife.
What? So I eventually sort of getting really taken out of it, because it's like, you're not... And I love Les Claypool, but I just I can't... All the new stuff, I'm like, I don't know, it's just like dialing it in and writing kids... They're like writing kids' books to music.
Yeah.
And this is just like writing the worst script you ever heard in your life.
It is. Yeah, you know, I've mentioned my promise thing before, which is mostly the whole thing of you have so much time to do your first record, you know, that whole have, you know, they were a band for whatever 10 years before they really did Frizzle Fry. So the material on Frizzle Fry and like Seas of Cheese were songs that they had been working on for a long time, trying out in the clubs and really getting going. So they sound great, and those two records are, you know, packed full of great tunes. And then you get to Pork Soda, and it starts getting really like spotty. There's like maybe 2 songs on there, and then the rest is just fucking around.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's mostly filler and like a song. And then from there on, it's just started getting more and more like that to me, and more just like kind of random filler and less songs.
And I don't know much about, I mean, I never really owned a Steve Miller record. I don't know if that's kind of what these guys do too with a lot of their songs. I mean, really the only songs I remember are Big Old Jet Airliner,
right?
Which Fly Like an Eagle, Abracadabra, and what was this one?
The Joker.
I'm a Joker, I'm a smoker, that one?
The Joker.
Okay, I didn't even realize that was one of their songs. Yeah, okay, I know that. I guess I do know a handful of their songs then, don't I?
Yeah, and everyone does. And the Joker can fucking suck it.
That's it's a stupid fucking song.
It's a stupid goddamn song. But the thing with Jet Airliner, that's a cover. This guy, Paul Pena. Did you ever see that movie, Genghis Blues? Documentary?
No.
It's spectacular.
I'm writing it down.
Yes, Paul Pena, everybody. Pena. San Francisco guy, blind, kind of 70s blues rock singer, and he wrote Jet Airliner.
Okay.
And he had a deal in the 70s, and he did a record that is actually amazing.
Okay, I did not know that.
I think the record's called Gotta Move, maybe? Although I'm not totally sure. And it never got released. I don't know why. Jerry Garcia's on it and some other folks. And for whatever reason, it was never released in the 70s. And then they did a documentary on him, about him getting into the whole Tuvan throat singing thing and moving to, not moving, but going to Tuva in Tibet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tibet, and competing and, you know, hanging out with the famous Kongarol Ondar, who's like the main, you know, the super famous Tuvan throat singer, and they become friends, and it's this whole thing. And after that, created more popularity around him, And the soundtrack for that was very popular. So they'd release, his record's called New Train. That's what it's called. New Train.
Okay.
And
New Train, okay.
Amazing record. And it's great because it's the 70s record and it sounds like it, but it never got released until like 2000. And it's like this hidden gem. And I'm convinced that if it was released when it was supposed to, he would have been a ginormous star.
Right.
And unfortunately, Steve Miller picking up Jet Airliner, kind of he was able to live off that. So that's really cool.
Okay. There you go. Nice.
And you can tell because that song has a lot more integrity than all of the other Steve Miller songs. I'm gonna have to re-listen to it because I've never actually. I don't think I've ever really listened to a lot of Steve Miller songs before. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. This is one of those bands where I heard it and then I just go, "Oh, that's a song from the '70s."
Yes,
it's kind of how it never really grabs me anywhere. Like the '70s, I'm like, give me some Pink Floyd and some Led Zeppelin. Yes, that shit's neat and interesting. And this is just like, oh, here's a song.
It's just a song.
Here's a song. It's a beat.
I also kind of like Fly Like an Eagle. That one doesn't bother me.
There's some cool noises. Sounds in it, like textures and stuff.
Yeah, definitely much better guitar choices and some synth stuff, and it's a cool vibe and a cool groove. It's like this band has elements that can work for them. It's just maybe if we dug deeper into their catalog, we'd find tunes that are like, oh, this is a good song.
If we were like not listening to the Greatest Hits album.
Right. Yeah.
Well, this Greatest Hits album has sold over 13 million copies.
It's everywhere. It's one of these things. It's like everybody's dad has one.
That's crazy. Man. I've never owned a Steve Miller record in my life.
Oh, me neither. Are you kidding me? Why would I pay for this shit? And we've only gotten through the first line.
Oh, yeah. Let's get back to that. Back to that.
So Billy Joe and Bobby Sue, made-uppy names. And then the next, two young lovers with nothing better to do. So does anyone call anybody else their lover? Is that a thing?
This is the 70s, right? So
this is my lover.
This is my lover. I don't know.
It makes me think of some kind of like aristocratic like housewife. Yeah. It's just like, what are they called? Oh, this is my lover.
Flappers, like flapper girls. Yeah, like flapper girls.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
You think? Yeah, it's so...
Oh, hello, lover.
Oh, hello, lover. This is my lover. It's just like ridiculous.
It's like Maud Lebowski would say that. Maud Lebowski would say lover.
Yeah. Yes. Totally.
Oh, Jeffrey, you're my lover.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally hear that.
Well, it's I can see her face. Who plays her? It's
Julianne Moore.
Say that again. You cut up.
Julianne Moore.
She is so amazing in that part.
Oh my God, she's amazing. Yeah,
that is exactly the kind of person who calls someone else their lover. And of course, in the case of Steve Miller Band, it just fits. It's just like that's the word that we could shove in there.
This we're getting to some of the other songs. I wasn't on one of the podcasts, but you guys were talking about. This is just like, and maybe it was with Will. We're talking about just basic lyrics. They're like, it's like
cliches.
Yeah, and it's just little like the vocabulary is so elementary school in a way.
Yeah,
that's certainly this song.
Very
lots of better to do. Yeah,
lots of filler, lots of cliche. Really low on inventiveness. You can tell they were like speeding through the lyric writing process.
Like they had to get it. Like we have an hour left of studio time. Go take a shit, write the lyrics, and then come out here and sing those 4 notes to finish the song off.
Totally.
The two young lovers with nothing better to do than sit around the house.
Which also, I think that line is interesting too, because that's like setting up the rest of it. They seriously were just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, getting high and watching the tube, and they're like, why don't we go and
rob a bank?
Rob and murder somebody.
Yeah.
Is that a thing you want to do? Yeah, okay. I think most people who are just, smoking weed and watching TV, like, the biggest plans they have is to get up, go into the kitchen, and get some Cheetos.
Right?
Where are they going to get the inspiration and motivation to go out and rob somebody?
I mean, they're fucking bored. That's like ultimate boredom right there.
I'm bored just listening to the song already,
Yes, I do know. Precisely.
Now, this third line is, they say get high. That's funny. Haha, they get high. So do I. Because it's the 70s. Everyone.
I can relate to that.
That's great. They rhymed Sue, do, and tube. Look at you. Sue, do, tube.
Oh, yeah, these guys have their rhyming scheme is fucking atrocious on this.
Oh, yeah.
It's all four lines rhyme, and the next 4 lines rhyme, and the next 4 lines rhyme, and the next 4 lines rhyme, and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Yes.
And here's what happened when they decide to cut loose. So that line, I think I've discussed this in the past. I know I have. I hate when they say, here comes the story. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hey!
It's like, hey, fuck you. Don't tell me that the story's coming. Just tell me the story. You don't need to set it up. You don't need to go, and that's my story. Fuck you. Just tell the story.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, because
it's just wasted line.
Yeah.
It's totally wasted line. Yeah. And it's like, it just, that's the line of delineation between like a good songwriter and a bad songwriter, is that a good songwriter knows that every line and every word has value and that you can do something with it. And a bad songwriter, it's like every line is just more space to fill in my notebook. And it's just like, whatever I can do. And it's like, yay, I got to the end. It's like, fuck you. Who cares? It doesn't mean I need to listen to it.
It's awful. All 4 lines to me are awful. This whole song is awful.
What do they call it when you play a sport and you get a trophy for losing? Participation trophy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what this is. This song is a participation trophy.
Yes.
Right? Because it's like,
totally.
Yay, we filled an entire song with words. It doesn't matter that they suck. We did it. Okay.
I mean, sometimes that works if you're putting words into a cool riff or a cool song, but there's literally nothing cool about the song.
No, there's nothing
except
holding it together.
The drum sound, but that's not enough to
the first 10 seconds. If this song ended, and this would be great, we should get somebody out there, YouTube, do a supercut, hashtag it TSFnS, and just cut the first 10 seconds of the song.
And loop it.
And it'll be like the super mix.
It'd be the best version of this song ever.
Yes, it's just 10 seconds. So they headed down to Old El Paso. Thank you. And then the Friends clapping comes in.
I realized what it was the second time when it came through. I remember like knowing that part.
Right.
It's from The Stars at Night Are Big and Bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
That's what it is. So they're referencing Texas. That's what they're doing. It hit me when they got to the next one with Billy Mack as a detective down in Texas.
And they do it again.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah.
You think that's on purpose? You think that was a happy accident?
I do think it's on purpose, yeah.
Wow, that is actually a lot more clever than I anticipated.
Yeah.
It just made me think of the Friends theme.
I know, well, yeah. But then it took me, it was... this song, actually, when I was working at the motorcycle shop yesterday, came on, and I was like, shut the fuck up, this is the song we're doing. So it was the first time I got to hear it in a long time. And then when it said El Paso, and they did it, and I remember that just from as a kid, like. And then when it came to the Texas, and I was like, oh, that's a throwback to the Three Amigos, because.
Pee-wee.
Yeah, no, it's a Texas song, right? Oh yeah, no, you're right. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But they're not referencing that because this was written first, so that's the.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, they're referencing the song.
Yes.
They're referencing the song. Yes, because that song is a thing. That's way more
that song
clever.
Exists.
That's way more clever than I give them credit for. So and I actually like that part when the clapping happens.
Yeah.
Wherever I am, when the song comes on, I'm clapping along. I'm right there.
I know.
audience participation. So I like that. Any song that has some clapping in it, like Too Much Time on My Hands by Styx.
Yeah.
When that happens, I am right there. It comes on the radio. Too much time on my hands.
Yep.
I'm like that guy.
It gives you, there's like a certain, there is that the audience participation. You feel connected to it, like you're part of the song, because I can clap.
I can clap.
I can clap. I can play that. I can play that instrument.
I know. Hey, that's the whole reason the Queen wrote "We Will Rock You."
Yeah,
that's the whole reason.
It's a good one. It's smart.
I know. Brian is no fool. So the the thing I think of with this song is, though, he had to, like, in order to fill out the line, he just wanted to say they headed down to El Paso.
Yep.
But they can't do that because there's not enough syllables, so we had to make it, they headed down to, old El Paso.
Yeah.
Which is taco supplies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, they're.
I mean, it really does show the thoughtlessness of the lyrics, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Why not try to rewrite this line? Let's just throw in an ooh to fill the space. It's like, okay, next.
And we'll call it old.
Yeah.
And,
old.
Ooh, old. Ooh,
that's
old.
Fucking
and
lame.
then, it just will make me think of tacos every time I fucking write this, sing this lyric. Fuck you. That's where they ran into a great big hassle.
Terrible line.
And every time I hear it, I think he's going to end it with asshole. That's where I ran into a great big asshole.
Big asshole. That would make it way better. It actually would make it way better.
It rhymes a little bit better with asso.
Yeah.
Paso, El Paso, asshole.
I'm with you.
Rather than hassle.
Well, for me,
it still rhymes, but I think asshole rhymes better.
But this is also the thing, too, is that great big hassle is such a Trump fucking low, dumb person thing to say. Yeah, they ran into a great big hassle. It's so generically banal. It's just awful,
Generically banal. Could not get more dumbed down. Great big hassle.
Oh, it's stupid. Okay, next, please.
But you need it because it rhymes with El Paso, and of course, Billy Joe shot a man while robbing his castle.
Oh, stupid line number 2.
Fuck you. And of course, we all know that that's meant to refer to, man's home is his castle. They broke into this guy's house, but fuck.
Well, they could have said he went down to old Dallas, something, and then robbed his palace.
Ooh.
Because they had multiple options, and they decided to go with castle. Oh, this fucking song is stupid. So dumb.
Yes, it is. Castle is really a line where I start getting pretty mad.
I know. I start
really... I mean, I was already pretty mad from Billy Joe and Bobby Sue.
Yeah, exactly. Straight from the beginning.
This is really starting to... Yeah, I'm starting to fume come Castle.
Oh, yeah.
And so Bobby Sue took the money and run. I do like that structure of that stanza where the last line doesn't rhyme because it has... the hook connected to the end.
Sure.
So that is an accidental
right.
good songwriting technique, to step away from the rhyme scheme, from their Dr. Seuss rhyme scheme.
Yes, it actually...
A.
Yes.
To have a B that takes us into a chorus.
Yeah, for me it was definitely thank you for not rhyming another asshole.
I know. Sue, to do, watch the tube, cut loose, just a 4 A rhyme scheme for the first one. Go on, take the money and run.
Times 4.
It's a chorus. Yeah, times 4. I think like the concept of go on, take the money and run, I could be on board with that. I think if the rest of the song were decent,
sure.
And I'm sure that somebody sat down and said, oh, it'd be a good name for a song.
Yeah.
Take the money and run. And, they just built it off of that. And I think that seed of going, oh, that would be a good idea for a song, I'm on board for that.
Sure, yep.
Had they taken the time to write that song.
Yeah. Instead of doing it on the toilet with the last hour left.
Yeah.
In the recording session.
And wiping their ass with it.
I know a lot of people take issue with, I don't really take issue with this, but a lot of people do with having the chorus be the same line over and over again.
Yeah.
That never bothers me. But in this particular song, it kind of does a little. I mean, this song sucks, so it's just the same melody over and over again. Yeah. You can have the same line and change the melody a little bit here and there, and that kind of makes that stuff work better for me. But I don't really, I mean, a song is supposed to be something that you're, anthemic, a lot of times, and you're singing along to it. And it's easy to remember that kind of thing, and it'll get stuck in your head. So from a songwriting point of view, that's clever. I mean, that works. That's like 101 songwriting, have that same fucking thing be the line every time. Never really bothers me that much.
Yeah. It's writing that line between, being being familiar, having something that someone can hold on to because they recognize it from earlier in the piece, and having something new. You can do the same line over and over again, and I can get behind it. Really, the chorus of this song doesn't bother me as much as the verses. Like you said, it is a little repetitive. It gets a little old in this one. I think they could do something to kind of give it a little something else, a deeper element to it.
I think they could have made and I think Steve Miller probably isn't a very good singer, and so they have to stay within that vocal range that he has, and they stay there right in that range. And for me, if you took it up somewhere, I don't know. I personally would maybe relate to it more from a songwriting standpoint. It works for what it is, but for me, it's like it just stays right there. And so then by the end of it, once they get back into the verse, I'm like, oh fuck, we're still here in this spot. We never actually went anywhere. We're like, oh fuck, we're still here. That's my reaction to it when I was closely analyzing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like it is in this weird thing, and his voice bothers me too. I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. It's
generic,
boring. Yeah, it's boring.
I have that written down right there. Boring.
No grit to it.
It's just sort of like it reminds me of how some people are competent background singers, like guitar players who they sing great for background vocals. They're not ever going to be a frontman singer. Totally. But they have a voice that they can hit notes and they can sing well enough to do background stuff. That's what he sounds like to me. Well, I guess you're going to sing because we don't have a singer, so you're good enough.
Yeah, not cool, man. Not cool. It's totally this vanilla thing.
Yeah, vanilla. Oh, great adjective. Absolutely.
Edgy as a bowling ball.
Yeah.
An old friend used to say. That's where he's at. Okay, so when we get to verse 2, another fakey name, Billy Mack. It's like, fuck, where do you get this, like, the catalog of fake names? If you're gonna fucking get a fake name, open the phone book and just dig out some actual person's name who you'll never meet, and no one will know that you wrote a song about them. Like, get a real fake name or something, or name it after someone you know. Do you really know someone named Billy Mack? Do you really? Or does Billy Mack fill in 3 syllables in your bullshit song?
I also think it's fucking stupid, too, that the other main character's name is Billy Joe. So you have Billy Joe and Billy Mack now? Like, you can't even fucking come up with a different first name part of it?
Exactly.
That's how much they didn't try.
It could have been Johnny. Did not try.
Could have been Johnny Mac.
Yeah, Johnny Mac. Let's get Johnny back into the fold.
Yeah.
Johnny!
Jimmy Mac. Billy Mac, okay? Oh, fuck you guys.
Fuck you. And he's a detective down in Texas.
Oh. Well, they're in El Paso. Ooh, old El Paso, so Texas.
El Paso. I just thought they were in the supermarket in the taco aisle. He knows exactly what the fax is. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He knows what the fax is. All of a sudden, we're talking jive.
Oh, man.
No. He does not know what to rhyme with Texas.
Oh.
And you know what? Don't put Texas at the end of the line, asshole.
Yeah.
You've painted yourself into a stupid corner.
Stupid. And he says...
Texas. Only thing that... What rhymes with Texas? Sexes. That's it.
Lexus?
Lexus. He could have written about how Billy Mack drives a Lexus.
Yeah, well...
It has changed sexes. Maybe Billy Mack is trans.
Here's another...
changed sexes.
Oh, yes. Well, I hear it as faxes, as in like faxes, the faxes. He knows exactly what the fax is.
The fax is. He sits by the fax machine and goes,
yes.
See, this is a fax.
This is future.
This is the future. It's my crazy phone talking machine.
But this one too is they got a lot of words in here to fill space. He knows just exactly what the. Those are all filler words. Those are everything about that line is filler. He knows just exactly. I mean, that's just so much filler. That line is. I know. It's a wasted line again. It's just everything about it, and then
and it doesn't say anything about the story at all. It doesn't give you any information.
They just syllabically and rhythmically had to put some words in there. He knows just exactly. All those words are fucking meaningless.
Yes, that line is just 100% throwaway.
Ugh.
He ain't gonna let those two escape justice. Okay, so the line makes sense.
Sure.
It finally referring back to the story. Took us 3 lines. And justice is a near rhyme, of course. But, again, what happens is, he was a turd and put Texas at the end of the first line. And now he's struggling with these, I can't put a perfect rhyme. I need to put these near rhymes. And, I think that's totally a valid thing if it's a choice. Back in school, getting back to our Berkeley nerddom, one of the things that I learned that I've taken with me is there's 2 reasons to do anything. One's good and one's bad. Because you want to or because you have to, right? And I teach that to students all the time. Are you playing that note there because you have to and that's the only place you know it? Or because it's a choice and that's what you want to do?
Right, right. Exactly.
And that's exactly what this is. He's not doing these near rhymes because he thinks it's a strong songwriting choice and it's helping further his story. It's because he's a moron. He put Texas at the end of the line, and now he's struggling to rhyme it. And so every rhyme he does here, when he goes Texas, faxes, justice, I'm shuddering because it's like, ugh, that feels dirty and wrong.
Yeah, he backed himself into a corner immediately.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like, it's just such an easy thing. Just rearrange the words,
I think this is the best line in the whole song, though, because he ain't gonna let those 2 escape justice. Actually, ain't makes you feel like he's from Texas. Like, this is the most well-written line in the whole song.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. And it's legitimate because it finally, in the beginning, it's like, so what does Billy Mack have to do with this bullshit? Right. And it's like, it finally connects it. Like, that probably should have gone, that probably should have been the second line.
Yeah, exactly. But no.
Considering that second line just means nothing. It does have actual meaning to this finger quotes story. But my most hated line in the entire song makes me start throwing shit whenever I hear it. He makes his living off of the people's taxes. Fuck you, Steve Miller. Fuck you.
I mean, that is
bullshit.
Yes, that shit is dumb.
It is so stupid. It makes me so mad. Like, no one gives a shit where this guy gets paid from. We get he's a public servant. You said that in the first line.
I mean, that's the backed himself into a corner. Above. I mean, that is like he had to reach for that one. Like, oh my god, I have to do one more axis, and then that's what he came up with.
What's interesting is Texas and taxes. They're what do you call those words? They're anagrams.
Yes.
They're anagrams. You're just flipping the E and the A.
Yes.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Cute.
But it really isn't. But, see, that makes me think, like, are we going to start going into detail on this guy's, monetary situation? Well, tell us about his 401k. Does he have any CDs?
Yes, exactly.
What does his portfolio look like?
Nothing to do with the story.
It's ridiculous. I almost did it. It's so stupid. Like, who cares about that?
I mean, it could have been anything as anywhere as blue socks is. You know, like it could have been anything. He just picks.
I know.
It's like, okay.
He has erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, like, awesome. Okay, that just threw that line into the song. Great. Go fuck yourself, Steve
I seriously want that to be, like, I want there to be, like, a spin-off where it just talks all about, you know, all about Billy Mack and his financial life. You know? just everything about, well, you know, he sees a fiduciary who's got his money, you know, he's got some stuff in some 401k plans, and then he also has some you know, long-term investments, a little bit of stock stuff, not too much. You know, you don't want it to be too high risk. Like, fuck you. Who gives a goddamn shit? That has nothing to do with anything. And you just had a line that connected it to the story and made sense. I know. And now we completely jump as far away from the fucking story as possible. Like,
so fucking dumb.
You know, the obviously the logic behind it is that he's a public servant. You know what? You made that very, very clear when you said he's a detective down in Texas.
Yes.
It was very clear. Everyone knows detectives are cops that work for the public. Done. That's it. You don't have to say anything more about it. You know, I don't need to know about, you know, the police retirement plan in Texas. You know, I don't give a shit. That's so fucking stupid.
It's so dumb.
I just want to punch someone in the head whenever I hear that line. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you. Are you trying to make a point about you know, about big government and, you know, what public services the taxes should pay for? Is that what it is? Is that, like, you know, police are paid by the people? Maybe you know, we should put our taxes toward, I don't know, digging up rocks or something. Like, you know, is he making a political statement? Is this the Steve Miller Band libertarian manifesto, this line?
I think he's just fucking ran out of ideas.
Yeah. Let's say that line again because I shit the bed. Is this Steve Miller's libertarian manifesto, this line?
No, I think he backed himself into a corner. Couldn't figure out how to get out of it.
Yes, he did. God damn you, Steve Miller. It's so fucking annoying. I could spend the whole rest of the hour just talking about how mad that makes me. That one line. I'm so pissed. So anyway, Bobby Sue, whoa, she slipped away.
And
okay, fine. It's fine.
Whatever.
Fine. Billy Joe caught up with her the very next day. They got the money. Hey, you know they got away. Kind of repeaty kind of statement there.
And again, it's a throwaway. They're just throwaway lines.
Throwaway. I mean, you know, yeah. Well, it's like those two things are kind of one idea, and he kind of repeated it to fill in. You know, the saying that they got away. You know, it's not super new information, but it's somewhat new information.
But coming from a storytelling standpoint, this song is really terrible because
it is.
He says, "Oh, hey, there's a detective down there in Texas. He knows what's going on. He's not going to let him escape justice," and then they just do. So, like, there's no fucking. He's like, "I'm a fucking detective, and I make money on people's taxes." But I'm really bad at my job because without any story whatsoever, they're gone.
And then they just do. That's exactly what happens. It's not, well, he never come back to him again. Never come back to him again.
It's over. Like,
and here's this other character.
Billy Mack's character is completely, in every way, irrelevant to the story.
Yep.
It's so badly written. He's totally irrelevant.
Yep.
That whole verse has no reason being in this song. They could have talked more about the guy that they shot and then taken the money and running than introducing a new character with the same fucking name as the first guy who sucks at his job. Like, what?
Well, I'm sure the guy he shot has Billy in his name, too, to be fair.
Billy Fred.
Yeah. Fuck you, Billy Fred.
Man, he gave me a great big hassle. You know, Billy Fred.
He's a great big
Steve
asshole.
Miller. Yeah, he's a big asshole, that Billy Fred. Fuck you, Steve Miller.
Dead now. Yeah.
So dumb.
They headed down south and they're still running today. No other reference whatsoever to Billy Mack.
But no, they're already down south.
No follow-up at all. Like, there was no reason to even introduce him because it's like, oh, they're on the run from the law.
But I mean, this song is they're on the run from the law, and they had to stick a bunch of things in. I mean, this is so bad. But never mind the fact that they headed down south, and they're already in Texas. Texas is pretty fucking far south.
I think that means they went to Mexico.
Okay. All right. That just sucks. This song's stupid.
Yes, it is. It is very stupid. Yeah, and it just drives me nuts. Like, you set us on this path, you set it up, and then you just kind of go, and then it was over.
Oh, it's so... it's just bad. Really, that's all you needed was go on, take the money, and run. Have the drum beat, hit the chorus, song over, 45 seconds. That's all you really needed to make this happen.
Man, some songs, it would be just doing everyone a favor if they were just, under a minute. And this is one of them. It's like this song... I'm really thinking it should just be those 10 seconds. Just, woo, woo, should be all the singing that you need.
That's so dumb. So now that we've got to that part, I want to talk about the solo section.
There's a solo. Where it's just like...
Yeah, so I have the solo. What the fuck? There's no solo. There's a total missed opportunity. And instead, they're like, all right, Steve. I don't even know who the guitar player is. But they're like, all right, take it. And he goes, oh, I'll take it. And he just goes, jangly, 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 jangly on the same fucking chords. And then the bass player goes, dega-doo, dega-doo. And you're like, oh, it's like, you're like, this is the worst solo section. I mean, everything about this is so bad. And then the guitar part, there's no solo, but there's a solo section. Oh. Did they just forget to record the solo? Or what happened here?
And again, like, they've done, like, signature guitar thing. I mean, think about, as bullshit as the Joker is, when you play that slide wah thing, wow, people shit their pants.
Yes.
That is, like, just so signature and so huge, that it makes the whole song. It's a stupid song, but that little bit makes the whole song. So they've done these things that are historic in terms of guitar, and then they do this.
Oh, it's man.
It doesn't need to be a chopsy thing. It can just be like a tasty thing with some cool lick that's just like, that makes it happen.
It would have taken the song somewhere for one, but it doesn't. And instead, it continues to sound more and more like a high school band of people that don't know how to write a song. Because it's like, and I'm like, this is where we go with this. This is laughably bad. It's so bad. You're like, this is a joke, right? I mean, you're just fucking with me right now, or what? Awful. And I wrote down, how did this fucking piece of shit get so famous? This song was huge. Yeah, maybe.
Almost definitely.
But there's some cool drum fills in that solo part. Again, the drummer is the only really good thing about this
drummer's
song.
Great. That drum sound is so classic 70s drums in the best possible way. Just really like loose heads and compressed to shit, nice and warm and analog-y. It's just so good.
I love that 70s drum sound.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. When the kit was actually in tune, it was great.
It's awesome. I play with a guy down here in LA. He's my tattoo artist. That's how I met him originally, and he ended up playing with me in one of my older bands when I first moved out here. Really good guy, really awesome drummer. And I think our parents were musicians. And he's a little bit older, and he has this really cool, like, old drum kits, and he plays really 70s style. So he's always tuning his drums, and when he plays, his name is Colin LaRock. I'm going to plug him, even though he doesn't have any, he's, like, totally off the grid. But he has, like, all those really cool sounds, and, like, makes this, you're, like, in a room with someone having that sound, and you're playing with them. It's so fun. And he has, like, the feel and all the, he'll do the fills the same way like the 70s do, and it's such an awesome thing to actually be able to play with that. If I ever record it, then I want to get the sound of the 70s sound like this. It's such a cool sound. The kick drum alone is like, poof. It's just like, poof. I don't know. It's such a cool sound.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And it's, there was, it was a good time for a lot of the musical technology because there was a big jump from the 60s to the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's before things started getting digital. So it was the height of analog, which nowadays is considered, it's considered the gold standard. Everyone wants things to sound warm and analog. Well, that's when it fucking came in. That's when it was from, and that's when it was kind of at its height. So, these tones that a lot of us are trying to
get back to.
Yeah. We're trying to get our Pro Tools plugins to sound like that's the real thing, 1176s and
it's awesome. I mean, that's
all that stuff.
So the redeemable only good thing about this song, I think I have nothing else written down on my notes here. The only good thing about this song is the drum sound.
Definitely, and like that beat in the beginning.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's why the first 10 seconds, the only part of the song that matters. Like, I will literally, when it comes on the radio, I'll listen to the first 10 seconds, and then the moment the vocals come in, boop, turn it off. Like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm satisfied. I'm totally satisfied. I need no more.
Yeah.
It's just going to upset me. I mean, I think I would point this in the direction, point students in the direction of this for, what's, every once in a while you get people asking about, what does a strat sound like in comparison to a Telecaster and to a Les Paul? Like, what's the difference? And, this is a good, oh, well, here's what a strat sounds like,
Yeah, this, if you ever needed to hear it, there it is.
Yeah, this and, like, the beginning of Sweet Home Alabama and stuff like that, and, of course, Hendrix and like, Stevie Ray Vaughan, but, it's a good, at least, it's good for that. Not for actual listening or music or anything. So I think we said all that we need to say about Take the Money and Run, although I could probably spend another half hour on he makes his living off of the people's taxes, because fuck that line. Fuck that line.
It's awful. It's terrible.
Is he going to just start talking about like the structure of how the tax is allotted throughout the infrastructure of the Texas government? Is that going to be a whole song too?
It's like The Unforgiven 2. Maybe they just need to write. They need to write it. Take the money and run 2.
Yes, and it'll just be all about Billy Mack, and it'll all be about the tax structure of Texas, and how much is Billy Mack gets, and then how much he's got going into his 401k, and then how much does he get taken out for taxes?
Oh, it's fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
I'm curious now. They opened it up in me. Now I want to know. I want to know about Billy Mack and his salary. I want to know how much he makes.
So bad.
I want to know what his deductions are.
Is he claiming what? How many dependents he has?
How many dependents does he have? Does he have a wife? Does the wife work?
Does he have any government, is he
subsidies?
Military?
Yeah.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so lame. It's just lame in every way. And then when I finally just looked at this and realized that whole verse has nothing to do with anything, it's just the ultimate.
I know. Yeah. No.
The ultimate. I don't try hard enough at what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's like, we keep going after it, but it's like, it's just so frustrating. I don't want to let go.
Yeah.
I want Steve Miller to give me a reason. I want a reason. It's probably because, I don't know, we were on blow and we were trying to finish a record. Fuck off.
Yes.
I had deadlines. So, this takes us to our next segment. This song fucking jams.
A
pleasant alternative. Where we listen to where we discuss a song that we do like. And that's all. What do you got?
Okay, well, this is completely not in the realm of anything about Steve Miller or anything even from the 70s, but I was very, very, very excited for the release of this album that just came out while I was on vacation on the East Coast, called Magma by Gojira. And Gojira is a French band. They kind of are... They're a metal band for sure, but the drummer and the singer are brothers. And you can kind of tell they work together on writing their riffs. And what's cool about this band is they're not doing super complicated riffs. They're just coming up with these riffs that are kind of easy but really, really cool. And they've been doing it from, the beginning, and they started getting good, I don't know, in like the mid 2000s, and now as they're continuing to write, they're sort of, I don't know, they come up with really cool riffs that are great. And now as bands get older, they do sing in English even though they're French. They added some more clean singing, which I think it kind of works. The way the main guy, Joe Duplantier, the way he sings, he yells, he does have pitch in his sort of metal vocals, which is cool. So it gives pitch, which gives another dimension to it. And the riffs Gojira is Japanese for Godzilla. So they sound like these.
Which was the original name of the film.
Yes,
when it was released. And
so they kind of emulate sort of a lot of times the sound of like a giant creature crushing buildings, and they incorporate that idea into their song, like into the sound of their music, which is really cool. So everything has like a big thunderous sound. Anyway, they just released a video, and this for the song track 2 called Silvera. That is super. The opening riffs are so awesome. And so just by the time you're like, okay, I've heard this riff enough, is when they take you to the next part of the song, and it goes into this really cool spot. And it's just, I don't know, these guys, every record they keep putting out does not disappoint me. It's just so awesome that they continue, because they've have a bunch of albums now, and they just keep writing cool shit, and it's not exactly the same on every album. They sort of progress every time, and they change it up a little bit as they're growing. And it's I recommend watching the video for this song because it's like shot in New York City. I think that's where they're kind of living now. And there's a lot of like falling in reverse out of the sky and stuff. Sweet. And they're playing on top of buildings, and it just it just feels like you think of Godzilla, and this band is crushing it on top of a building, and it's just, I don't know, these guys. They do it every time. They just nail it. And so I've been jamming on this song Silvera. It's, if you like metal or you like heavy music,
I do.
You and hopefully other listeners, they'll dig it. So that's what I've been jamming to. And promoting that band is fine for me because I just think they're awesome. And you can go back 4 records and you won't be disappointed in anything they're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to check that out. I've seen you post it, and I've been like, I should check that out. If he likes it, it's got to be good.
Oh, thanks.
And I have yet to, but now it has been assigned. It is assigned listening.
Yes. Yes.
So lately, I've been going back to my roots past week or so, and I mean my real roots. Like, before I even really discovered music, when I was like probably around 8, 9, I was a fanatical Billy Joel fan.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Over which I take some flack.
Oh, sure.
Which is, I don't get at all, but I think maybe it's a California thing too. But, I've been going back, and I have a pretty sweet collection of Billy Joel stuff, some good vinyl and some box sets and stuff, I'm always trying to collect a little something from that because it was so huge. And, I had every tape. And this is before I even got into guitar and other music, before anything else was on my radar. Before I discovered the Beatles, before I discovered, rock and roll at all. It's just like, I knew every record. I knew the entire track listing. I knew the year of every album.
Right.
It was like I was obsessed, and so I dug out some live stuff. I found there's this video he did in 82. I think he recorded in maybe 81. It came out in 82, or he recorded in 82 and it came out in 83. That's what it was. And it was live at Nassau Coliseum, which is where I first saw him many years later. And they recorded it and released it on HBO, which was new at the time. Huh. And they released it for a home video, which was also new at the time. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I had seen it years and years ago when we still had VCRs and it was still available. This concert's not available on DVD. It's just called Billy Joel Live in Long Island or something. And it's great because it's closer to that original Phil Ramone Billy Joel, which is probably my favorite period, you know? And most of the original guys are there. It's after Richie Cannata, the original sax player, left. He's the first guy to leave. So they had Mark Rivera, who's great too. And, you know, he's still young. He's still kind of doing the like suit with the sneakers and stuff. He's smoking on stage. And, man, it's such a cool show. It's so inspired, so much charisma. And it's kind of got this small theater vibe, even though it's a huge coliseum. And so I've been jamming on that stuff. And if I were to pick a song right now that's kind of speaking to me, for some reason, I've been really into Moving Out.
Oh, I love that fucking song.
It's a great song. It's a great song. It's
my favorite Billy Joel song.
It's the opening track to The Stranger, which to me it is a really important record for him because that's the one that really broke him wide open. You know, he already had like 5 records under his belt, but
that's a great record. That's a great record.
Yeah, it's a classic record.
Oh,
it's a classic
so awesome.
record. It's a huge record for him, but it's a huge record just in general, just awesome stuff. And it really set the tone for him as an artist and who he was and who his band was. And up until that point, he had Piano Man, but it wasn't a big seller. So the label was about to drop him.
Oh, really?
If that record didn't become the huge hit it was. So it's like we wouldn't have all that other stuff if it weren't for The Stranger. And it's great. It's a rocker, you know. It's got a great feel. It's got some guitar to it. But what I love about it is, first of all, this song has exactly what I was complaining about in Take the Money and Run. It has people. Right. It has characters, but I kind of believe them.
Right.
You know? Billy Joe and Bobby Sue is so, you know, generic in a bullshit way. Whereas I feel like Sergeant O'Leary and Mama Leone and Mr. Cacciatore, like, they feel like real to me.
They probably were.
Now that I say it. What's that?
They probably were. They're probably spinoffs of people that he knew from his neighborhood growing up.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's so great about this song. This song is about, you know, blue-collar New Yorkers.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Which is like something that I kind of, in a way, kind of, you know, relate to, you know?
Sure.
I mean, you know, we were kind of not really in that working lower middle class, you know, Long Island area that the song I think is really talking about, Long Island and the boroughs. You know, I didn't grow up there. I was the son of people who grew up there, right. You know? Right. So I was kind of connected to it, you know? And I really feel like part of my love of Billy Joel is that he speaks for us, for you know, that group of people. You know, so many of his songs are about that because that's what he grew up with. So it's like that's part of the tradition of my homeland, I feel like, in this weird way. And I also like the name dropping, you know. Who needs a house out in Hackensack?
Yep.
You know? I know where that is, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I like the sentiment of it. I like, you know, that's something that I think about. It's like, hey, why are you busting your hump? You know, you can pay Uncle Sam with the overtime. Right. You know, I love that line. I love it. It's got so much depth to it. It's like, oh yeah, you can work your ass off so you can pay more taxes. Good job. You know, what?
I love the part where he goes, I love that shit.
I know. Like, where did he get that idea?
It's awesome. It's so abrasive and it's so awesome, though. It's like you know, I'm a Mike Patton fan, so like that was like that intro and like using your vocals as sort of like a percussive instrument. I just thought that I remember hearing that as a kid and thinking how cool it was.
Yeah, he did something similar like that on Pressure. There's
yeah,
like that. Another great tune.
Awesome yeah, I love that stuff.
There's so many songs. I mean, I love so many of his songs and all the deep cuts and stuff. But this song's been floating around my head a lot lately. God, I could probably do an entire podcast on Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Because I have so many thoughts and so many feelings about it. I think the thing that I love about him most is that it takes me back to, I remember going down to Long Island to visit my uncle, in the summers. And it just when I listen to this is what I was listening to at the time. And it just reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
And it's very, a pleasant part of my childhood that I look back on fondly, And that's also where all this was happening. My uncle lived, in Riverhead, which is right by where Billy Joel lived. So, that's where it was happening. And that was my connection. Things that were happening out on the West Coast, there's that feeling of it's so far away. That's not real.
Right.
This was happening here.
Yeah.
This was real. So, and just revisiting all this material, revisiting all these album tracks too. I mean, I know I'm supposed to just pick one song, and this is the song I picked, but there's, I actually kind of rediscovered a song. There's two albums that I didn't have as a kid and that I've always felt a little disconnected with, and that's the first one, Cold Spring Harbor, and the third one, Street Life Serenade. And there's actually a bunch of really cool tracks on both of those. But the ending track on Street Life Serenade, Souvenir, he uses that on occasion to end his concerts. He used to do that a lot, and he does it on that video I was talking about. And I was just like, oh, wait, this song is amazing. He is brilliant in terms of capturing nostalgia and a nostalgic feeling.
Yes.
And that's what that song is. But that's also what I connect so much with his music, and that's why I love his music so much. Is it is nostalgia to me, and it's like so much of his songs are about nostalgia for him,
right?
Doo-wop, and you remember those days hanging out on the village green, things like that, thinking about to his childhood. And it's anyway. Before this show becomes 2 hours of me pontificating on how much I love Billy Joel, I will end it.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Billy Joel as well, so
good.
You covered all the grounds on that one.
Good, and then I can get all sorts of hate mail from people who hate him.
Well, fuck them.
Yes, but keep listening to the show.
Yes.
Please remember to rate and review us on iTunes. All right, my man, you got plugs?
Yes.
You got a show coming up.
I do. Schwarzenegger is playing August 26th at the Viper Room with a Metalachi, and they do metal covers in a mariachi style. So it's actually a good pairing for us because I think there's going to be some crossover fans, and it's like a totally different sort of thing. So we're really excited about that. And you get Schwarzenegger.com. You can find out the information. We'll be posting all about it and doing a bunch of promotion in the next month or so. And we are getting together today to write Pumping Iron. So
that'll be great.
So we're going to be debuting Pumping Iron at the show.
Awesome. Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. You'll be there, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Cool.
All right, man. So I think we've said all we need to say about everything.
Yes.
So for JP VonHitchburg and Steve Miller Band, I'm Jeff Kalmbach. Don't let the man get you down.